Hey friends, A.Maze here, back with another video. Welcome to our channel and thank you for watching. Alright, so look, if you guys logically know that source is with you, but you're having trouble connecting the feeling with the thought, you came to the right place. So here's the thing. The major thing is the repetition. You have to do it over and over again, and the thought and the feeling will connect. Okay? You and I are here to discuss the best and easiest ways to connect your thought and your feeling. Because again, with this spiritual journey, any journey, but because we are chosen, we're awakened, we know that we can take different routes. You got to keep telling yourself the thing that you need to know. For example, weight loss, I am fit. I choose fitness. Okay? Your statements have to match your level of belief in it. That's the first thing. But the main thing to know, guys, is as long as it's something other than what you normally believe. So we're going to stick with the weight loss example since I brought it up. So say you're trying to lose 20 pounds, right? You struggling with believing in yourself, believing that you can do it. Or maybe you just don't feel like exercise, whatever it is. But logically, you know the universe is going to help you. You say, I'm awake and I know I got help. So why can't I make myself get up? What do I do? It begins here and here first. So don't even get mad at yourself if you still eating donuts, or if you're not walking, or whatever it is you think you should be doing and you haven't started. It's okay. The logic knowledge is enough for now. All right. Now that you have that logic knowledge, you got to put something into practice. You got to create a ritual that agrees with your psyche, and you have to commit to it. Before you can perform something physically, you must internalize its concept. So back to losing weight. Okay, so you feel like you believe that you are 20 pounds overweight. So what you do is you either, and these are just loose examples because there's millions of things that you can do. We're all different. But here's an example. I'm going to say, well, I'm going to go listen to some binaural beats on YouTube about losing weight. I'm going to do that every night. That's a given. So that's your one ritual. Then you make a conscious effort after you waken every day to look in the mirror and say, I choose fitness. I choose to be fit. Okay, that's a loose example, guys. You create your rituals based on what works for you. Path of least resistance. But we'll get into that. That's another video about what type of rituals to create. But we just get into the meat of it. So now you're creating rituals. Stick to those. Commit to those. Before you can commit to the thing that you want to change, you got to first commit to changing your mind and heart. That in itself take practice. You cannot expect to do something different if you haven't programmed here and here first. So do that first. My point in this is this, guys. Everybody, when we want to do something and we don't feel like it, or we just like, oh, I wish I could. Oh, I don't know if I can, or anything like that. All that gets eradicated once you begin the practice of ritual. The ritual is the way you get there. Forget anything else you've learned along the way. You cannot start anything, an exercise program, a business, anything. You can't raise a child properly. Well, we'll get into that something else, because what is raising a child properly, right? But I think you know what I mean. Do things to its optimal. You won't do things to its optimal unless you've already preconditioned here and here. You must precondition. You must precondition. So, for those of you that have attracted this video because you feel despair, don't feel despair. Just precondition. 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 And let God do the rest. Now, as far as your environment, if you got friends, family, acquaintances, whoever, co-workers who make you feel less than important, all right, precondition. Okay, go within. Take your space. I don't care if you Everybody's life is different, but the one thing we all have in common is there's some place we can go that's quiet, be it metaphysically quiet or really physically quiet. The point is, you have to find ways to escape the noise, the physical noise that we hear out here with our 3D ears, and also the mental and emotional noise that's within. You can escape that too by simply meditating. That's what meditation is for, okay? When you attempt to quiet your mind, make those attempts often. And that's how you are able to distinguish the difference between you telling yourself something or you download. Because sometimes we have trouble with that. We're like, well, am I downloading ideas or am I coming up with this myself? That's what meditation is for. If you need more practice with that, do that. The meditation, the type where you quiet your mind and you just allow thoughts to just pass you, you be an observer of them, okay, during this meditation, and not a feeler of them. You just look at them, but don't feel them, and allow them to do what they do. Okay, so when you're in your everyday life, when you walk into the store or going to work or whatever it is you do every day, and that brainwave state that's always active, I can't think of the name of it right now. I'll come back with that. Anyway, when you're in that brainwave state of constant activity of your everyday life, cooking, cleaning, shopping, driving, you will be able to feel your intuitive messages when they come, because you spent your quiet time tuning in. All right, it's so much to say about it, guys. I'll come back with another video so I don't digress, because that's what I do. But anyway, back to what we were talking about. So now, if you feel despair because you're like, well, I don't know how to stick to my homeostasis mode because I spend too much of my time worrying. Listen. The best thing I can tell you to do, of course, you got to take deep breaths. After you take them deep breaths, take your mind to the place which you would consider your end result. So to simplify this, you want to lose 20 pounds. When you start to feel anxious and sad and worried that it's not going to happen, or you don't feel like exercising, sit down quietly, make a movie in your head. Make a movie in your head, okay? And conjure up the feeling of what you think that is. So you say to yourself, this is what I'm going to look like when I'm 20 pounds lighter. This is how I believe it'll make me feel. So you got to take time with yourself and conjure up that feeling. Do that visualization often until it becomes second nature. That's the key. When people teach us to do these rituals of visualization, of meditation, what they forget to tell us is that eventually it'll be natural to you. As a matter of fact, it's already your natural state. But you don't understand that because we live in a world that poisons us, if you want to be simple about it. But we're drawn from our natural state. But that's something different. We'll talk about that another day. The point is, you're trying to get more in touch with your natural state of being with these rituals I'm talking about and these routines that you must commit to before anything else, before you fill out a job application, before you call Weight Watchers, before you look up how to start a business, before you do anything you're trying to do in this 3D world. You got to precondition this and this. And you do that with constantly going within and doing it over and over and over and over and over. You training you to be you. That's all you doing. You training you to be you. So before you say, well, I want to lose this 20 pounds, you ain't gonna lose it until you become you again. Okay, let me give y'all a quick story about me, because I know I don't talk about myself very often. And then I'm gonna let y'all go. But this is an example of what I mean. Now, this was long before I even knew what awakening meant. I was about, how old was I? 28, 29, something like that. I don't know. Point is, I was with my husband at the doctor's office. He was going to the doctor. I'm in the waiting room. He go in, I'm waiting on him. a lady comes in. She sit down next to me. It was quiet for a minute, about 5 minutes. We're both reading our magazines. Finally, out of the silence, she says, "Excuse me, I want to ask you a question. I just don't know who to ask, but I just felt like I could ask you." And I was like, "Sure," because you know, I just love to help people if I have the answer, and I was interested to find out if I could help her. Long story short, the lady said she had a little niece who she adopted or lives with her, whatever the case, the parents weren't able. She said the little girl was 10 years old. At the time, the little girl was 10 years old. She would take food secretly to her room and then leave it there and eat it later. She was overweight and she wet the bed. Those were the things she told me about her. So she told me more things, but I ain't gonna tell all they business. The point is this. So I told the lady, I said, "You know what? I know she overweight," because that was her main concern with her niece, that the little girl was overweight and eating too much. I said, "That's kind of a surface thing. You should probably take her to get counseling before you take her to the fat camp," because that's what it was. She wanted to take her to a boot camp for children who need to lose weight. I said, before you do that, take her to get counseling. The food, her taking the food and hiding it from you guys and leaving it for another time means that that's her escape. There's something she's trying to escape. And she's using the food to do it. That's what I told her. What else was it? Oh, 10 years old, wet the bed. I said in the bedwetting, from what I understand, you know, because I read a lot of psychology books and talked to people and things like that. From what I understand, if you're age 8 and over and you still wet the bed, there's a good chance that there are some psychological issues there, something. And that's what I told her. I said, take her to get counseling first. So that's what I'm telling you guys. Before you think or before you know that you can do something in this 3D realm to improve an area, remember that area you're trying to improve is a symptom of something else. So if you believe you need to lose weight, it's not the weight you need to lose necessarily. There's an issue somewhere else. What led you to what you believe is overweight? Because if you're dissatisfied with it, its origin is a place of dissatisfaction. And that's really it, guys. Going within is the healthiest thing we can do for ourselves because it leads us to places we didn't even know we were supposed to go. So first, before you try to lose weight, start a business, whatever it is, first figure out, just first realize this thing I'm trying to fix is a symptom. It's not the problem. It's a symptom of a problem. So what problem do I really need to solve? Figure that out, okay? And that's it, guys. I'm done. I love you. I'll have a quote next video. Until then, bye for now.